After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I have noticed so far. I have been running this unit for a few months in a place that gets used a lot, with different people coming and going, and that is honestly where heating and cooling equipment shows its real personality. It is not a careful laboratory situation. Doors open and close all day. People set weird temperatures. Someone forgets to turn it off. Then the next person cranks it the other direction. That is the kind of routine that exposes what is convenient, what is annoying, and what holds up. At a basic level, this is a ductless mini split system meant to cool and heat a larger single area without needing ductwork. If you have a big open living space, a garage conversion, a workshop, or a rental where you want reliable comfort without tearing into walls to run ducts, this type of system makes a lot of sense. The reason I went with this specific model is because it is designed so a capable do-it-yourself person can get it installed without specialized refrigerant tools, as long as you take your time and follow directions. What makes it different in day-to-day life is not some flashy feature. It is the way the installation kit is set up. The line set comes pre-charged, and the connections are built around that idea. That reduces a big chunk of the stress that normally comes with mini split installs. I still want to be clear though. You are working with electrical power, mounting hardware, and a system that needs to be sealed properly. If any of that makes you uncomfortable, it is completely reasonable to hire a professional. In my case, I have installed mini splits before, so I felt comfortable doing it myself. The physical build feels solid. The indoor head has the usual plastic shell you see on most mini splits, but it does not feel thin or creaky. The louvers move smoothly, and the filter screens feel like they will survive being removed and cleaned a lot, which matters because you will be cleaning them. The outdoor unit is heavy, stiff, and not flimsy. It sits outside in sun and rain, and so far it has handled that without any weird rattles developing. I do recommend taking your time with the mounting situation, because if the outdoor unit is not level and stable, you can end up chasing vibrations later. Installation took me a while, but it was not confusing. It was more about being patient and careful. You need a good plan for where the indoor head goes, where the outdoor unit sits, and how you will route the lines and drain. The manual is actually usable, and I relied on it a lot. I also double-checked a couple of steps with online videos just to confirm I was interpreting the diagrams correctly. The part that slowed me down was not the refrigerant connections. It was the normal home improvement stuff. Drilling the wall opening cleanly, making sure the sleeve was placed right, getting the indoor unit bracket perfectly level, and making sure the drain line had a steady downward path. If you mess up the drain slope, you will eventually find out the hard way. I took extra time there, and I am glad I did, because I have not seen any dripping or water issues inside. In daily use, this system is straightforward. Most of the time, I just use the remote. It is not fancy, but it works. The screen is readable, and the buttons are laid out in a way that is easy to figure out even if you have never used a mini split before. In a property where different people use it, that matters. People do not want a learning curve when they are just trying to sleep comfortably. I also use the phone app, mostly for two reasons. One is convenience. If I am not in the room, I can still make adjustments. The other is problem prevention. If I know the space is going to be empty, I can set a more reasonable temperature without being there. The app has been stable for me. It connects over Wi-Fi, and once it is set up, it tends to stay connected. The setup process was not difficult, but it did take a couple of tries because the app is picky about the network settings. If your router is older or your Wi-Fi signal is weak where the indoor unit is mounted, you might need to address that. After I moved the router a bit and Ray did the pairing, it has been fine. One feature I appreciate is the leak detection alert. I do not want to pretend I am constantly thinking about refrigerant levels, because I am not. But it is helpful to have a system that can warn you early if something is off, especially in a place where you are not standing in front of it every day. I have not had a leak, and I hope I never do. I just like that there is at least some basic monitoring built in. Performance is what people actually care about, and this unit has handled real heat well. I have seen it pull the temperature down in a large open area without sounding like it is struggling. When people walk in and out and let hot air rush in, it recovers quickly. I also noticed it does a decent job at holding a steady temperature once the room settles, instead of constantly overshooting and then correcting. Noise has been a pleasant surprise. Indoors, it is quiet enough that it does not compete with a conversation or a television at normal volume. In a bedroom setting, it is the kind of sound that fades into the background. Outdoors, you can hear it working when you are nearby, but it has not been the kind of noise that makes me think twice about placement. That said, if you mount the outdoor unit on a bracket attached to a wall, any vibration can transfer into the building. A stable base and good isolation make a real difference. I also got to see the auto restart behavior after a power interruption. Power flickers happen where this unit is installed. When the electricity came back, it returned to the previous settings. That is a small thing, but in a rental or a workshop, it saves you from walking into a space that is uncomfortable because the system stayed off. Now for the limitations and the little annoyances, because there are a few. The do-it-yourself friendly connection system helps, but you still need to be very careful not to cross-thread anything, and you need to follow the tightening instructions correctly. Rushing that part is how people create leaks. The indoor unit also needs thoughtful placement. If you put it where the airflow is blocked, or where the air blasts directly onto a bed or a sofa, you will notice it. Mini splits can be comfortable, but placement matters more than people think. Another practical note is condensation management. In humid weather, the drain setup is not optional. If the drain line is not routed properly, you can create a headache. Mine has been fine, but that is because I made sure the slope was right and I did not pinch the line while tidying up the install. Overall, my impression is that this system does what I needed it to do. It keeps a large space comfortable, it runs quietly, and it gives me control whether I am holding the remote or using my phone. The installation is doable if you are careful and you respect the steps, but it is not a casual afternoon project if you have never done anything like this before. It rewards patience. Once it is in, daily use is simple, and it has been reliable through heavy real-life use. You can find detailed information about the MRCOOL DIY 36,000 BTU 4th Gen 1 Zone 18 Seer Energy Star Ductless Mini Split Air Conditioner in the comments section. See you in the next video.